Showtime! The Capital G show starts right now.
YouTube, Capital G here, talking about Nekroz and asking the question, how much is it going to cost you to build this freaking deck? I think that with the leaked information that we got today of all the rarities, I think a lot of people are anticipating that this is going to be one of the more expensive decks in recent memory, and in all due honesty, it's probably going to end up being just that. However, I have seen people say that they expect this deck to cost upwards of $1,000, much like Teledad did in 2009, if I'm not mistaken. Mainly AznEyes White Dragon is the one who insinuated that. I'm just here to say, not so fast, my friend. I think you're jumping the gun, and I think you haven't taken everything into consideration. So I'm just here to kind of give a counter argument. I think that Nekroz aren't going to be nearly that much. I think that a lot of players who don't think that they'll be able to afford the deck are actually going to be able to pick this stuff up a lot cheaper than they expect. And yeah, just kind of talk about my opinions on the price of Nekroz and what they're actually going to end up being. All right, so for starters, we all know that some guy basically in France has his hands on a bunch of the Nekroz cards and he's put them on eBay, and AznEyes did a lot of his pricing on how much he expected the deck to cost based on what this guy posted those cards for. Now, I didn't go to college for business. In fact, hell, I didn't even finish my degree, but even I know the basic principles of supply and demand. And I know that this guy is pretty much the only one on earth right now that has legitimate supply, which means he can kind of create the market. Whatever he posts on eBay is what the price is temporarily. Understand that. You cannot use this as a barometer because this guy is essentially just pulling prices out of his ass. Let's also consider the fact that while the supply may be next to nothing right now, okay, well, in about 6 days, when this set officially releases, everywhere you're going to go is going to be able to supply you with some secret forces. I mean, pretty much any hobby shop, any department store, hell, kids in your neighborhood who you can trade with who play Yu-Gi-Oh! Basically, there are going to be thousands of players, hundreds of stores where you can easily access the secret forces. That means that the market is probably going to temporarily tank. I mean, if Yu-Gi-Oh! Has taught me anything, it's that when there is an overabundance of a card or just, you know, an art type or too much supply, the cards tend to basically drop in price because everybody has them and you don't really have to look that hard to find these cards. Look at Cleese as a prime example. I mean, coming out of new challengers, they were definitely the cards that people wanted, and you can look at the cards that you have to run, ultra rares like Scout and Sacrifice. You know, this is a deck that has been tier 1 since release, that has topped every major event that players still love and is still very relevant. And yet, you know, Scout's 15 bucks. It started out as 40. Sacrifice is $10 now. You know, even the secret rare, you know, that card's dropped to like $35 now, and that's a booster pack secret rare. It's a fucking hell of a lot harder to pull than these Nekroz cards, and you know, but everybody had the secret forces, or excuse me, everybody had the new challengers, and people were pulling the Klee stuff like crazy. So it's like it wasn't very difficult to get. It's still not very difficult to get. Now, speaking of pulling, let's talk about like the pull ratios. And while we don't know them exactly because obviously we don't know what is short print and what isn't short print, what we do know is if you buy a booster box, which let's say it sets you back 73 bucks, right? Okay, well, you get 24 packs in a booster box and this set has 20 secrets. We already know 9 of those 20 secrets are Nekroz cards. So roughly half of every secret, half of the secrets in the set are basically Nekroz support. So if you're looking to pull the deck, you're going to be happy with any Nekroz secret that you pull. Okay, well, every single pack has a secret. So you're guaranteed to get 24 in your booster box. I'd say that if you're buying multiple booster boxes, then it's a pretty good chance that you're going to be getting multiples of a lot of these cards. I mean, you've basically got a 50-50 chance of pulling a Nekroz, assuming, once again, that none of these are like short print. You've got a 50-50 chance. And I just don't think that the card prices can hold their value because, all right, so we assume that most people who are going to buy the Secret Forces want Nekroz. I mean, they are pretty much the best deck that's coming out of here, but there are two other archetypes, and those archetypes have fans too, which you have to also take into consideration is, if I'm just somebody who wants to pick up your Senjus or Spiritual Beasts and I really don't care about Nekroz, if I pull a Nekroz Trishula, you really think that I'm gonna only accept the highest? Like, you really think that I'm only gonna be willing to sell this at market rate? Probably not, because I don't even care about this card. I'm gonna be willing to let this go for a lower price than somebody who may only play meta decks or may just want those cards is willing to. You know, what I'm saying is you're going to have a competitive, I guess, marketplace. You're going to have people that are willing to undercut others. I mean, take this for example. I just went on eBay and I typed in Nekroz. Look what I found. Remember, earlier today, this guy was listing Trishulas for $90 a piece. Okay, well, other people took notice and now they started listing them for 50 bucks. You think I'm spending 90 on a Trish if I can buy one for 50? And then look, some guy was like, well, if you're selling it for 50, I'll just undercut you and sell it for 42. I mean, you get what I'm saying. I see too many things against this this art type, and especially the fact that they're coming out in a hidden arsenal type set where everything major is hollow. I mean, look at all the hidden arsenal type sets. How many cards have really gone for over $30? I mean, you can look at Brio and Trish when they first came out of their hidden arsenals. They were like 30 bucks, you know? I mean, granted, you could get them in the dual terminal before that, but that really wasn't that relevant. You can look at M7 and Pallades. You know, no cards in no cards in hidden arsenal sets really tend to stay over $40 just because they're so damn easy to pull. So anyways, this is just food for thought. Let me know what you guys think. I think that this is going to be probably about a $350 price type deck. I don't think it's going to cost anywhere near as what people anticipate. Thank you guys for watching as always.